Hello and greetings to the congregation of Providence Presbyterian Church. I have been asked a number of times by both members and just by people on the street, hey, when are you guys opening up for worship? And I have a rather longish, roundabout answer for you that really doesn't even give you an answer. But, you know, this is exactly what preachers are good at. So if you will bear with me, let me read just from Psalm 131. It is a psalm about a soul at peace, abandoned to God, having laid aside anxiety and ambition, or so says the note in my New Jerusalem Bible. The psalm begins, Yahweh, my heart is not haughty. I do not set my sights too high. I have taken no part in great affairs, in wonders beyond my scope. I hold myself in quiet and silence. Somehow this psalm seems to relate to our session meeting of last Sunday. Well, not the quiet and silent part. No, our meetings are anything but quiet and silent. But when we discussed the when and the how to resume in-person worship at Providence, and when we discussed what all we would need to do so that our preschool could safely open in the fall, and when we talked about the precautions we'd need to take when having other groups use our facilities, well, I can assure you there were no haughty hearts in the Zoom room. No one had their sights set on flinging wide the doors to the sanctuary and holding worship in it this very week. Much of the when and the how of resuming worship and ministry on this campus remain beyond our scope. We've no crystal ball, no inside scoop, no prophetic visions. It was just us trying to figure out how we might resume worship whenever it was safe to do so. Well, not just us. We believe the Spirit was with us as well. Now, I have been reading the daily adventures of Garrison Keillor, who has been stuck in New York City for the COVID shutdown. And in one report, he mentioned that he, a Midwesterner from Minnesota, has been able to make it in New York City because he lacked the pushiness so characteristic of the city's population. I think that phrase, lacked the pushiness, sort of sums up where we are with resuming worship and reopening buildings. We ain't pushing for this until it's safe to do so. The session and all your staff care too much for you to put you at risk, at even more risk than need be, in an effort to get back to normal, which we may never get back to anyway. We lack the pushiness, but not the need, nor the hope that we will worship together again soon and safely. To that end, the session has appointed a committee. After all, we're Presbyterian, and charged them to study and research and pray and come up with proposals to phase in worship services on the church campus. Then the committee will look at what needs to be done to open up the buildings and prepare for fall preschool and maintain a clean, disinfected environment. The committee will meet over the next several weeks and report back to the session, and we'll all be hearing what the session decides after that. We will continue our video worship services. We will continue Zoom Sunday school classes and Bible studies and meetings and so forth until the time that we can gather safely and worship and meet together. Oh, and speaking of video worship, on May 31st, that's Pentecost Sunday, the youth will broadcast their youth worship service on video. The digital experts are taking over. And now that we are in phase 2 of the state's plan for reopening, we are going to begin reopening the church office. We will be open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. beginning this coming Wednesday, May 27th. Please do maintain social distancing when you come, and wearing a mask is encouraged. Also, our cleaning service is going to be disinfecting the buildings as they clean. And both the counseling center and the church office staff have mitigation measures in place to minimize the risk of anyone catching this virus. There are other precautions that are being done and looked into, so please know that we are doing our best so that you will be safe when you are on the church campus. Psalm 131. This psalm of trust concludes with, "Let Israel hope in Yahweh, henceforth and forever." Let us hope in Yahweh our God. Let us continue to pray for an end to this virus, for a vaccine, for the renewed health for those who've been infected. Let us pray for the grieving families of those who have passed away. Let us pray for those who are out of work because of the shutdown. And let us pray for a way through to whatever God has in store for God's children. Trust God, hope, and pray. Thank you, and God bless, and great peace to each and every one.